Hello, welcome back. We got some Evo research. We're doing 459 a turn now, and that's with a lot of mages moving around, so that's pretty good. Could get up to like 600 a turn. So Evo 5 is pretty close. Our Adepts can do Gifts from Heaven. We'll have Earthquake. We also do Falling Fires in combat as well, which might be pretty good. We should have that in 2 turns, which should be really useful. Diaportant. This is Eyes of God, or whatever it's called. So Eric has all of the score graphs and stuff. They've posted them in the Discord. Well, I'll go through them at the end of this video, or after this turn. We're pretty big. We've got by far the biggest army. But I suppose that makes sense when we've just got hundreds of slaves everywhere, so I'm not sure it means much. Search for site, didn't find any. Couple of battles. So Maragnon attacked the 2 provinces that we're not in. So the 2 provinces either side of his cap have been taken back. It's notable that there aren't many mages in these armies. And then we also got attacked by man, but I'll just show the map first to show you what I'm talking about. So he's got 1 big stack in Ripewoods and 1 in World's Teeth now. If I just show Ripewoods. Only a couple of mages. This guy is carrying gems for this guy. But there's no scripting going off in this battle. No one else has gems. Just knights holding. And then crossbows firing. So that was Ripewoods. Only 3 mages. And it's the same sort of story in World's Teeth. Mercenaries, and 1 or 2 little mages. What's really notable from the graphs that Eric posted is that Maragnon is last in research. So they're less threatening than... He is building cubes currently in his fort to clog up the gateway, which is worth remembering. But that's what happened this turn, so there was no big fight in Gladewoods. And then we got attacked by man, which is really unfortunate. It's just a tiny raiding force. But I asked him if he was warring me on Discord. And he said, hey, maybe just let me take some provinces and then I'll stop. Which is not the kind of thing that I'd respond well to. So I just said, your head would look good on a pike. And now I guess we're at war with man. There's not much of an army. Taking a forest off me. That was just a bit annoying. Event in Kratos, we got a piercer, which is a crossbow, and 300 gold. Pretty nice, I suppose. Discovered a scout in Wolfplain. Oh no, this was, we discovered some kind of event thing, the False Prophet and the Heretics. Which is fine. We couldn't catch slaves in Gladewoods because we got the unrest up too high. There's lots of patrolling this turn, but I'm not going to get any more slaves anyway. And then, yeah, we're starving in Gladewoods again. I've given out enough bags of wine now. We're down to 267 supply. There's no way this army ever starves again. That's as low as it's gonna need to be, I think. It's tempting to go back through the videos and check out all these provinces to see the supply, but I'm pretty sure 267 is safe. Maragnon was like 500, so whatever. And that's it for messages. So I'll start up here. First things first, I don't think this giant Manx stack can do anything from that fortress just yet because of all the rivers. But the only thing he can threaten me with is this, which is not much. So I'm just moving a few bits and pieces to this cave. There's a few soldiers, a couple of archers. There's the caveman PD, and then there's we're summoning cave grubs as well, so there'll be a few cave grubs here. Other than that, we've got the water 2 guy doing desiccate, earth guy doing an earth elemental. I've moved out the adepts as well to do earth elementals. So there'll be 3 earth elementals guarding, plus my prophet is smiting. I'm not sure how bad his precision will get in a cave. That's why I'm doing desiccation instead of like frostbolt, because this is precision 100. Seems like it might be a better bet in a cave. I think this stops this. The earth elementals will just walk over this army, I think. He could also just walk into my fort, which would be weird, but that's fine. This giant Maragnon stack, I can't imagine this goes into the cave or into the wasteland. So if it does, then I just move the stack onto Maragnon and then I take it, because we've got 926 siege strength here, so... I assume that Maragnon is going to make 1 of 2 moves. Either he moves a bunch of stuff into Gladewoods this turn, or he just moves everything back to his cap. So I'm just sitting here. And I'm going to sit here for 1 turn, and then I'm going to move on to Magnon no matter what. I'm sitting here for a couple of reasons. It's tempting to go right onto Magnon now. I don't think that I get any benefit out of that though. I think if we wait a turn, we solve the starvation again. We get 1 step closer to Earthquake. Also worth pointing out that I forged a Ring of Levitation last turn, and I'm forging 1 more this turn. So we'll be able to give that out to our army as well. So I can give 2 Earthquaking Mages Levitation. So next turn I'm gonna... I think he'll have everything in Marignon next turn. We'll walk onto it, put it under siege in 1 turn, storm it with just Earthquaking Mages to weaken the army, and then we'll storm it proper. That's the plan anyway. Sitting here for 1 turn also allows us the flexibility to maybe respond to this if it does something. I can't imagine this is going to be more pressing than this though. So for now I'm just sitting here. I thought I might as well cast some rituals while I'm here though, just to burn through some of the gems we've got. We've got a lot of fire gem income, and I'm mostly just forging fires in jars at the moment. We're going to want to turn all these into lightless lanterns at some point, but for now I'm going to cast 2 loads of fires from afar at this army. Because why not? Let's try and kill off some of those crossbows now. I don't know how effective this will be, but I think it's worth a shot, right? So we'll do 2 casts of fires from afar. I'm going to revive some whites as well. Because why not? White's a pretty good unit. We'll get 5 of them for 20 death gems. I think that's fine. I don't need death gems just yet. Why not? Whites are really good units. We can put them on the front. And I'm also summoning Clockwork Soldiers. These are less effective, I think. But I think it's nice to have a bunch of cheap units with infinite morale that we can just sit on the front to tank a lance charge. Why not? It's just extra chaff. Forging fires in jar as well. Yeah, so next turn we'll just move on to Marignon. It is possible he moves everything into me this turn, but if he's filling his fort full of gel cubes, I don't think so. Over here I'm moving stuff down now to fight Matt. The Dinyashi army is moving back down. I'm also moving this army off my border. I really hope Nabar doesn't choose this moment to attack me. I think we're out if that happens, but all of this stuff is going to move back now to attack Man. I'm moving into Man's territory this turn in Trizia, with a lot of warriors and crossbows. And also a couple of mages as well. I know that Man has a fort in Nidian Range because I've seen the map posted by Uruk. So if I move an army here, I can threaten this fort, which pulls this stuff back away from me, which is all I'm really trying to do, is just threaten this. And depending on how well this theatre goes, we can also take these provinces and threaten his cap. Force this army to do something. But we'll see anyway. For now it's just moving units here. I have units in Cunal ready to go as well. But supplies and morale we're going to have to solve for these armies as well. We don't have many things we can use really. We do have 1 more whip I could give to this guy. Is it useful? I'm not sure. We'll see anyway. If we give the whip to unusually aggressive middle-aged man, we can probably lead everything that ends up here, right? Yeah, probably, because he'll have 200 leadership. That's probably what we'll end up doing. I think that's it for this turn. The next time we'll attack Marignon, and maybe he attacks us this turn, which is fine. The army is still scripted the same. Nothing's changed from hitting Evo, I don't think. Did he get Fire Cloud? Is that better than Fireball? Maybe if we were more fire resistant. I think Fireball's probably just better, isn't it? Because it's a safer bet. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's staying like that. That's the turn. I might be forging... Oh, I'm also going to do some more site searching spells remotely. I'll regret this. Arcane Probing and Voice of Apsu we can afford pretty easily though. So why not? Doing fires from afar, whites, Clockwork Soldiers, Cave Grubs, making the 2nd Ring of Levitation, another bag of wine. That's it. So fingers crossed that goes well, and I'll see you next turn. Okay, so Uruk cast Eyes of God, and he posted all of the graphs in the public game channel. So I'll just go through them all, see what we can learn. First up is provinces. The circle was added by Uruk at the bottom there, just showing off that both Katiz and Fisher have risen from the dead. From 0 provinces back up to, looks like 1 for Katiz and 2 for Fisher. Good for them. Fisher, of course, is currently AI, so... very top of provinces is Uruk, and then second is me. You can see we just lost a few provinces last turn to Maragnon taking them back. And then third is Calum, who we don't have a border with yet. But it looks like me, Uruk, and Calum are the big boys right now. Slightly behind them is Agartha and Man, and then who cares about the rest? Most important of the rest, there's probably Maragnon, which is the darker orange line. Looks like they were always smaller than us, but they've lost a lot of provinces over the last few turns. I think that is the combined might of Ulm and Uruk, taking all of the Cartesian lands from them. That's good. Next up is forts. Not much to learn here, really. Yeah. It's very, very difficult to actually tell apart the lines of Uruk, Ashdod, Ind, and myself. But looks like Uruk is first here as well. And that is me in... Oh, that's really difficult to tell, actually. You know what, let's skip this one. Who cares about forts? Let's go to income. Top again, Uruk. And it looks like I'm second. And then some kind of blue player after that. Who would that be? Maybe Nabaa? Nabaa and then Calum and Agartha. Again, we can see a big drop-off from Maragnon quite recently. And then a slight tick up when they take back provinces from me. Gem income next. We're third here, which is good. We have been spending a lot of time gem searching, which is something I like to do. Again, first is Uruk. They're very large, very big, very powerful, lots of income. Then Agartha, I think, and then myself. And then Ulm and Man, interestingly. Ulm and Man are still definitely competitive. Middle of the pack, but still. We're all much, much further ahead of Maragnon, again, which is also good to know. And speaking of good to know, research is a great one, because apparently Maragnon is last in research, which is quite reassuring, actually. The huge line that's way out ahead of everybody is Nabaa, I'm pretty sure. And then second is Uruk. I mean, that's always bad when someone is, like, streaking ahead on research, but it might suggest that Nabaa is just kind of turtling and researching, which at least means maybe our northern border is safe for a while, if he's not really interested in fighting people. Still very worrying, though, to have someone that far ahead in research. Uruk not far behind. And then... who would that be? Is that Fisher? Oh my god, it is. I just checked the other graph. Yeah, that's Fisher. So AI Fisher is third in research. Wow. And then Ulm in fourth. We really need to get out Lightless Lanterns and Skull Mentors at some point. To get our research caught up. That's kind of... was the game plan. Next up is Dominion. This is really confusing to me. Apparently I'm third on Dominion. I have a Dom 5 nation with, what, 3 temples up? And I'm third on Dominion? Uruk is just streaking out ahead, and then Man's quite high as well, which makes sense, because Man gets cheap temples, if I remember rightly. Yeah, that's reassuring, I suppose. I'm always a bit worried about my Dominion strength. And finally we have army size, and that's me in first. We are significantly larger than every other player in the game, with the exception of Calum, who's just behind us. But the thing that Calum and I have in common, I believe, is that we both have very, very easy ways of obtaining lots and lots of trash units. So we have slaves, and Calum just can mass flying militia, I think. So it's great that we're really far ahead, but of course, sometimes it comes down to quality, not quantity. Yeah. Notable for us is Maragnon's line, which is kind of in the middle of the pack. I guess if we tried to work out from this sort of relatively, what would that look like? Looks like he has 1/3 of our army. So we could go through, count up how many units we have, and then work out roughly how many Maragnon has. Same story for Man, they're about half our size. But it's worth bearing in mind. Anyway, that's the graphs. Thanks for watching, and whatever is coming up after this. Hello, welcome back. We cast a lot of spells. Hugely influential nutritionist cast Fires from Afar, and so did 5'6", 315 pounds. We don't have a scout here though, of course we have no scouts anywhere because we can't recruit them, but hopefully it killed some people. Maybe a mage, that'd be great. We summon some Clockwork Soldiers and some Wights, show them off in a moment. Search for Water Sites with Voice of Apsu, and Arcane Probing, or Astral, nothing. And then 3 battles, amusingly. First, we attacked Man in Trizia with our little show of force army down near Man's forts. Doesn't have too much trouble with militia. Goes fine. We lost 2 Healer Warriors, that's okay. And then we had 2 battles in Realm of Solace. This was kind of funny because Fishia's AI, and they threw a little squad into the cave where I was set up to defend against Man. So my mages all had 1 gem each, so they used the gem defending against this army, which I think is fine. So what has AI Fishia got? I got some Colossi Light Infantry, a couple of Ogres, Heavy Infantry, Archers, and Crossbows. And what's this? Oh, nice. Fishian Princess with a Burning Blade. There go the Earth Elementals. Pretty good. Here are the Cave Grubs we've been summoning as well. They have a siege bonus of 10. Brings them up to 12.9 each. So that was Realm of Silence. Lost a Healer Archer. But then Man also attacked into us. And now we have no gems. Very puny army though, and they are in a cave now, so they have attack 9, defense 8, 9 and 12. Does darkness affect defense? Yeah. Pretty good. So that was Realm of Silence. Again, lost a few units, but that's okay. For events, we got Wachi, a group of zealots joined our army, and an Earthshell, a peddler was selling some gems. We got them for 1 gold. 1 fire, 1 earth, 2 astral, 1 death, and 2 nature. So the event units are flagellants. We got 53 of them. Which, you know what? I'm fine with that. We've just moved a lot of the units we had on our border here, so this can replenish them a little bit. Make this area look like it's defended by something. That's it for messages. So I'll show off the 3 units we got properly. I've just showed off Cave Grubs. So this tiny army has a siege strength of 106 with these guys, which is pretty nice. So we're going to keep summoning those every turn, if we can. And the other units we summoned were Clockwork Soldiers and Wights. Wights are really good. Prot 9 units with a Chill Aura. They're undead. They have a Baneblade, which is a magic weapon that I think does decay? Yeah. Really nice. 20 hit points as well. We also have a Spirit Sight. Maybe that'll be useful someday. and Clockwork Soldiers that are less interesting. They do have a really nice protection and a variety of resists, but they gain a lot of fatigue each turn. They probably die quite quickly. But they're just there to soak up some damage. So our front line is now... This army is identical, but the front line is now far more soldiers. Gigantes there, and then at the sides we have the Whites and the Clockwork Soldiers. I also gave Onbeck here, I'll name this guy. I gave him the Piercer that we got from an event. I was looking to see if we have like any commanders with good precision, turns out no. Even these guys are only 11 precision, which is no better than the commander, and they're better off casting spells. We even have a Horse Archer commander. You'd think he'd have decent precision, but no, precision 9, and that's with experience. So where's he gone? Onbeck here has precision 11. Also with experience, so he's been given the Piercer. He's set to fire archers, because mages tend to be standing near archers, so maybe he'll get lucky and pick off a mage for us. Keep an eye on that, just in case something good happens. Other than that, yeah, scripting's identical. Candles here are neutral, so we're on 108, we'll be carrying into Marignon that we're attacking this turn. The one other addition is there's now one more Tyrant as well. So we have 11 F2 mages for 9 fire elementals, 1 wisp, and 1 flaming arrows. Up here, red arrow is just, I'm going to set up slaving again in this area. I might do it in the forest instead now. So we'll have these units as well, plus the flagellants, and then we'll start slaving in Windsong. Down here, we found Man's Fort. This has significantly more units in it than I thought there would be. Which is a bit frightening, because I can only go to 2 places. This would be the best province to go, because it opens up a lot of routes. This is a dead end. So if I move into this and he moves to where I am, well, that's a bit awkward. I suppose I could run through his fort then. I'm not confident projecting force over here with this little army. The river is really annoying. It'd be nice if I could just go straight to Norville, but I can't. I'm just going to head back to my fort. I've got more units coming down to Cunal. There'll be quite a lot of stuff here, actually. And some of it's pretty good as well, because it's crossbows and the Dinyushi, so these aren't my trashed slave units. We've also now got 2 turrets in the area. We've got plenty of F2 mages and E2 mages. So I'm not worried. I just need to... I don't need to take any of men's territory. That's not my goal. My goal is just to keep them away from this area. And just dance around trading provinces with them until this wraps up. Because once this wraps up, this army is just going to roll straight down and kill him, I think. Depending on how well it goes. That's the plan. Only other thing worth mentioning is I'm forging another pair of earth boots and another ring of levitation, because if man does... because he had the army here, which I assume he moved it here, and now it might come down and try and take this throne off me. So he can just go from the forest straight to my fort. But if he decides to go into the cave again, this would be a great province to do an earthquake trap, because earthquake does way more damage in caves. So I'll just leave like maybe the E3 mage. That's a bit... I don't really want to lose this guy. But with earth boots and a ring of lev, he can do earthquake on turn 1 and then retreat, and that would be quite funny, I think. And I'm attacking rightwards as well with my prophet and some grubs. I can move the grubs onto the fort if we need to help speed up sieging. But the real reason I'm doing this is just because my prophet will spread dominion. And it feels bad moving my god into Marignon to do this fight, especially if there's lots of dark candles. The prophets will help spread dominion, and so will my god, so hopefully that kind of pushes things a little bit more towards our favour. Don't really want to be using my god in combat outside of my dominion. But I feel like Howl would just be so powerful in a battle against Marignon with all its crossbows that I think it's worth the risk. We'll definitely get Earthquake next turn. The levitation rings that I've forged already are currently on the Cyclopes. Don't know if they'll stay there. This guy could do a turn 1 Earthquake though, which is quite good. Guess we'll see what happens. So we'll move on to Marignon. And yeah, next turn will be an interesting one. Maybe he's patrolling. If not, we'll probably just put this fort under siege. And hopefully there aren't 100 points of province defense. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in turn 36. Hello, welcome back guys, as a 10th turn. We got evocation to 5, so that gives us earthquake. Gives us quite a lot of stuff as well. We can do falling fires. Can do gifts from heaven with our adept, if they've got earth 3. Although even the E2 guys can do earth power first. Shadow Blast is also really cool. And I do have D2 mages, so I might think about scripting that too at some point. 100 fatigue is a bit much though. And then yeah, after that I'll still focus on enchantment. I will try and get riches from beneath. And maybe also Eternal Pyre if we can. I've blown a lot of my fire gems already, but we can get back up to 80 pretty quickly, I think. Question is, how do we get to fire 6 though? We can easily get 4. 5 is just a skull. Can't remember what the other fire booster is, if there is one. I guess I'll look into that. We should be able to get to fire 6 though pretty easily, I'm sure. That would be a nice little target. And then we can turn the 25 gems a month into Lightless Lanterns if we go back into construction. So, something to think about. We summoned more grubs, did some more remote site searching spells, guess what, found nothing. Calum declared extra crispy, the prophet of Chicken Run. And we had 2 battles. So, I don't need to watch these. Right Woods, nothing there. We walked forwards, took it, easy. Maragnon, nothing there. We walked forwards and 7 cows died, because, you know. We also lost 3 of the Clockwork Soldiers, so I guess they weren't worth the investment at all, since they lost to, this 3 points of province defense. Whatever. Also, our undead and demonic troops are being struck by holy fire in Maragnon. I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe the whites were a mistake as well. But I looked at the site, it only deals 10 points of damage and whites have 20 hit points, so I don't think it'll be a problem. Great events this turn as well. Holy See, 816 gold. Midria, 1080 gold. With 5+4+3+4 gems and a Crown of the Titans. And the Crown of the Titans is really nice because it's an inspirational leadership boost. And it gives you enlargement as well. So that's 1800 gold this turn from events. Pretty good. Maragnon has been cracked open in 1 turn, which I guess is good. And that's it. So, I made a single player game and I tested out how effective storming a fort with an earthquaking mage is. I learned something really important, which is that you should only do this with a caster that can get up to Earth 5. Because if you don't, they get fatigued and can't retreat. So I have 3 candidates for earthquaking. One is a Tyrant. This is not a good candidate because he goes berserk. And if he goes berserk... so actually, I'll hit Control T first to show you what I'm doing, right? It's just a little army like this. There's 2 casters. They're both going to cast Summon Earth Power, do an Earthquake, and then retreat. And that's it. That's all they're doing. Everything else here is just to take up arrows and stuff. Obnoxiously, Maragnon has... Oh, it doesn't tell you. Well, their wall defenders are crossbows, which means they have extremely long range. They can easily hit things at the back of the army. Not much I can do about that, but these guys do have a lot of hit points. My worst fear is that on turn 1, a crossbow on the walls hits Dirty Bulking, sends him berserk, and he goes off script and just kills himself. That would suck, but hopefully that doesn't happen. I brought Hurlers with me because I assume, maybe I'm wrong, but I assume he'll have his crossbows set to fire largest, because that would prioritize my casters. And these guys are large, so I don't know. But other than that, it's just stuff to help block, help soak up damage, draw attention away from my casters. And they'll just Earthquake and retreat. Testing it with E5 mages seems fine. They do it, they run, it's okay. Depends what Maragnon's script is though. If he's doing something special that catches me out, it'll probably screw me, I don't know. That's the plan. Tyrant is a bad candidate because of the Berserk. The other candidate was my god. You could actually Earthquake on turn 1 and then retreat, which seemed really safe. But you never know if something weird happens. Maybe he breaks Siege this turn, because why not? And that would screw my scripting, and I want to have Howl in the fight. And if my god has stormed, retreated, and then ends up in these provinces, I won't have Howl in the fight.
Hello, Militia here. Mew seems to think that if he storms with his mages and Marignan breaks siege,
Mew seems to think that if he storms with his mages and Marignan breaks siege, that the mages won't be in the break siege fight. This is not true, of course. The storming mages would absolutely be in the break siege fight. It would be very bad.
I'm going to do it with these two guys. They're going to storm and do Earthquake, and we'll see what happens. In theory, this will wipe out like at least 60 crossbows. Again, based on tests, I tested with a fort full of 200 crossbows and 50 knights. I think is similar to what Marignan has. And it killed about 60 crossbows and a couple of small mages as well. And that's worth it, I think. So I'm going to try that. And then the turn after this, we'll move the casters back onto the fort from wherever they retreated to. And then the turn after that, we'll storm. Hopefully this goes okay and isn't a disaster. Usually when I try to do clever stuff like this, it goes wrong. So I look forward to both of these guys dying pointlessly next turn. Up here we can see an army here. I wasn't exactly sure what to do here. I am retreating from this province and leaving behind Aethel, who is also doing Earthquake in the cave. This is an Earthquake trap if he moves into it. If he just moves onto the fort, however, I'm wondering if it's a mistake to actually put stuff here. Because maybe it's just going to trap them and I'll just lose them all. I don't know. My hope is that somehow I can just fight him off. Maybe he doesn't have any casters in this army and I get lucky. I don't know, but my choice was either move everything into the fort or just move it into the wasteland, which would be safer. I don't know. It's a tough one. But for now I am moving into the throne. This might be a mistake. I might end up just losing these casters in a few turns because they get trapped. Don't know. But that's what's happening over here. If he moves into the cave though, I mean it's just an Earthquake trap. Earthquake does a lot of damage underground. So maybe it'll just kill his entire army. Maybe probably not the knights, but possibly the longbows. I don't know if he'll move into the cave though. This might be a mistake putting stuff in this fort when I can't defend it. I don't know. I started recruiting curlers because they have the best wall siege defense, which is not saying much. There's about 15 total defense there. But whatever. So storming Marignan, moving out of here, leaving the Earthquake trap in the cave. Rightwards, I'm just preaching with my prophet and building a temple because Marignan is down to 4 dark candles. My god is on 64 HP. Very healthy. Let's try and make that even better by taking this down to 3 dark candles. And I think that's everything that's going on over here. Moving a few more bits and pieces onto Marignan, and I'm moving my Mage into the water just to be available. I don't know. He's used us there, doing some basic research. We're still on 342, which is fine. Over here, going to start slaving in Windsong. This is just moving stuff over to patrol. And over here, I'm putting an army in Wolfenplain just in case we get attacked there. I'm going to defend it. We can then use this army to take a province, maybe. Depending on how we feel. And into the forest here, I'm going to throw this army. This is a bit more interesting because we've got the Dinyushi at the side, we've got the Gigantes, and some Ictiers at the side. This guy's going to do a fire elemental, this guy's going to do a fire elemental, no, he's going to spam fireballs. We've got a ton of crossbows who will be crossbowing. That's pretty nice. It'd be interesting if he moves this down, then we fight it. Because it's not a bad army. This doesn't look too big. It's a bit worrying threatening around here because I noticed his fort actually has his god in it. So I assume this is a pretty decent army he has here. I don't know. Yeah, but that's it for this turn. Really interesting to see how this goes. And god, I hope he runs into the cave. Alright, I'm going to enter and I'm going to submit a partial just in case because I'm the last person to take my turn. I'm a bit worried I'm going to reconsider something suddenly. Anyway, that was the turn. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on turn 37.